let's say hello at this point to Scott Hillier, founder and president of the European Independent Film Festival. And, let's just say it. You were the director of photography on a documentary back in 2003 that took home a statuette from the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big award.
It is a big award.
Yeah.
Why is a foreign language film winning Best Picture in 2020?
I mean, I think it's an evolution that's come up through the streaming services, obviously, because they've brought about a democratization of the creative world where people actually, like, more or less force-fed the idea that there's a great stories out there and get over the 1-inch barrier, which is called subtitles. And I think, I made a lot of films in America and they would refuse to accept a film with subtitles because they're like, no, Americans don't read subtitles. It was sort of like this class elite sort of turtleneck wearing people read subtitles. But now it's changed. And
it's definitely streaming services that changed that.
I honestly, no, it is, yeah, of course. Over there right now in America, you can watch an Italian TV series subtitled in English, which would never have happened 5 years ago. And I really think...
And people are doing it.
They're doing it willingly. And as a storyteller and people that, are pushing these great unknown movies, now there's no barrier. So you can watch a film from Thailand or from Colombia or whatever and watch a great film that you would never have seen before because the stigma's gone with subtitles.
The stigma's gone with subtitles. Of course, in the case of Parasite, we're talking about a movie that resonates universally, a rich family and a poor family, and a social drama that unfolds. And it's also a tale that everyone can relate to.
No doubt. And just you're in the hands of a great storyteller when you watch that film. You can feel it, and the energy, the angst, the conflict, it's just so real. And I think that's his thing. Whatever language it is, he's just a master storyteller.
Last year, the Best Picture went to Netflix-produced Roma. This year, it goes to a foreign language film. The movie industry itself, it's been an up and down year, hasn't it? And it's because we're seeing younger audiences not going to the movies as much. How is the industry rolling with the punches when you look at last night's Oscar ceremony?
I mean, if you look at it from last night's the Oscars, it's going great. But as a storyteller and guy making films and trying to get people into the cinema, it's horrible. It's death. So it's sort of this thing where Netflix has so much, all the streaming services have this amazing content, but very, very few of it people are going to the cinema. So they'd rather see it there. And, so it's sort of the balance is not quite there. I mean, if you want to go and watch the film 1917, I specifically went and watched it in a cinema because it's a cinematic experience.
As was Roma, which wasn't shown in movies much.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I still think it was a bit too long to go to a film to see that one. But I mean,
it was clearly made for a big screen.
Big screen.
And yet it was shown on a small one. How is the movie industry going to change with its times?
I mean, I wish we had the magic words to do that. I just don't know. I just know that right now, with what happened last night, is that filmmakers and directors and whatever will be less scared to try stuff. We'll actually just push that boundary further and further and further.
Because we had this period now, this year, one of the big conversations was too formulaic. We had a whole argument over whether Marvel films or even cinema. Studios don't want to take chances.
They don't. I mean, they very rarely ever did, to be honest. I mean, inside the movie industry, there is a formula. You get the star, you pay a lot of money, you do this. I think the great thing about Netflix is that it's changed that. But the movie industry, how do they adapt? How do they keep getting people to go to the cinema? I don't know. I hope they can somehow manage to do it because, the idea of sitting in a room with 200 other people, strange as the light goes down and the lights start bouncing on the screen, and it's an emotive experience.
And how does it feel sitting here in Paris? We're in France, a country which pushes cinema, which subsidizes more and more its film industry because the private money's coming less and less.
I mean, it's great that they do it. I mean, it's honestly great that they do sponsor it. I think that mediocrity, this should be valued a little bit more about the films that they make. There was a film that was in our festival a few years ago, the short film Les Miserables, and that was first a short film. It won an award with us. It went on to become a proper film.
And it was nominated for Best Foreign Film at the Oscars.
And the director he made his film his way, which is very, very unusual. But with the French support, he got it made.
Can the French withstand this sort of change in the business model that streaming services have brought?
I mean, they're still going to subsidize films via the money that we go to the cinema, but just how do you keep getting people into the cinema? That's the trick.
Scott Hillier, one final question. You're preparing for your festival, which is in April.
Yep.
Do you feel that there's as much talent out there as ever?
I'm blown away every single year with the talent out there. I love them and I hate them. I love the fact that there's so many creative people out there telling stories that will blow your socks off, and I'm not one of them out there doing it.
Maybe not this year.
Not yet.
All right, founder of the European Independent Film Festival, which is here in Paris.
Here in Paris.
In April. Scott Hillier, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, man.